Okay, everybody, welcome to the presentation. Thank you so much for being here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and Rumble. And now we're live, of course, on our Spreaker format. So hello to you guys on Spreaker and hello to you guys on TikTok. So, boy, I tell you what, we just have all kinds of platforms open today. We're all over the place, all over the place. Keep in mind, let me just give you a little heads up. I have two different computers running right now. So I have a chat here, I have a chat over here on Spreaker, and I have a chat over here on TikTok. So if I don't respond to you, it's not because I'm being rude. It's just because, you know, I have two computers running. Thank you. I have two computers running at the same time, and sometimes I can't see what you're saying. So that's it. So for those of you on TikTok, if you offer gifts to the ministry, or if you like the live, please do. The more likes you have, and that's free. It doesn't cost you anything except for your time, and just tap, 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 tap. And the more we do that, then the more we get into TikTok algorithms. And so then people can say, hey, what's this show about? So there we go. So anyway, well, no, Justin, we'll talk about that in just a second. But so a couple of things. If you want to go to my website, Bishop James Long, bishopjameslong.com. That is the website. If you want to go to the church's website, usocc.org. That is the church's website. So again, Bishop James Long, LONG.com, and usocc.org. And there we go. You know, I had a question the other day. So why don't you put something like behind you that's really attention grabbing, that'll make people mad, and people, you know, will show up in your chat room and they'll watch, and it's like, well, that's just not my thing. You know, there's a lot of people. They purposely put something behind them to get a reaction, a knee-jerk reaction, whatever it might be. I mean, it could be anything, just anything just to get an emotional reaction from people, and they do it basically to get the likes and to bring in a lot of people in the chat. That's just not my thing. It's just not my thing, and so yeah, I don't do that. And not that there's anything wrong with it. I mean, so you know, it's well. So, and people will say, you know, there's all kinds of attack about Jesus and things of this nature. But if you notice, I don't have, someone said, everyone wants to make things about race. It's not about race. But one thing that I will say this, there's a lot of the idea that I was looking at some pictures of online of Jesus being this white, pale, figure with blonde hair and blue eyes. That Jesus did not have blonde hair and blue eyes. He was not pale. He's Middle Eastern. So the whole idea, I don't know. It's sad, really, that we see historical paintings of the interpretation of what Christ looked like. Now, that's not what Christ looked like. That's not at all. He wasn't a blonde hair, blue eyed guy. Just wasn't. Sorry. So anyway, kind of crazy. For those, yeah, I appreciate those of you who are liking the documentary, the Gates of Hell documentary. Thanks, I appreciate. Well, it's, you know, I like I said, I'm not an expert at all when it comes to, you know, directing or putting things together, you know, editing. I do, you know, I do the best I can. That's it. If you want to know more about my faith, I studied for the Roman Catholic priesthood for 6 years. You can go out. I of course went to undergraduate and graduate school. You can go to usocc.org and you can find all the information there. If you want to watch the documentary, all you have to do is go to Bishop James Long, LONG.com, and scroll down to where it says social media links, and you will see where it says YouTube. And if you click that, there you go. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube. Make sure you do that, because I'll be doing eventually more videos on there. So we will do that. So again, Bishop James Long, LONG.com. And don't forget to put, scroll down to where it says social media. And that's it. That's all you have to do. And you can watch it. Once you go onto YouTube, you'll go to my channel. You'll see Gates of Hell documentary. Oh, you did? Well, good. Well, so I appreciate the feedback. And yeah, it was a lot of fun doing it. It was a lot of fun. So Miss Wilma is not doing well today. She is still sickly. So she's not having a happy day. She has Meniere's really bad. For some reason, I don't know why, but she has really bad sinuses, and I guess that's what caused it. She doesn't know. She doesn't know what caused her the Meniere's attack. But she's up there. She's 69. Yeah, she's 69 years old. So but she's a little party animal. So I'm sure she's not happy about not being here, because she loves being here. She does. She loves being here. But tonight she's just not feeling well at all. So regrettably, Miss Wilma will not be here. So you're stuck with me. My humble apologies. And I won't be she keeps hitting on the produce guy at Walmart. That is the truth. She is. Now, I did talk to her, by the way. She's going to kill me when she finds out. But I did talk to her about her hospital visit. Sure. And I asked her how many people was she flirting with? It's like, okay, you're on your best behavior. Well, she said, there was this doctor. I couldn't hardly see, but my eyes adjusted. It's like, oh, for crying out loud. So apparently there was a doctor at the hospital that she really thought was just handsome as all get out. And so there we are. Yeah, but she that was Wilma. She never will stop that. What's this? Starting to see posts on TikTok where people are talking about the mantra codes. Oh goodness gracious! There's always people saying something. People are. I tell you, it's like it's the flavor of the month, isn't it? T. Weatherly, isn't it? It's like the flavor of the month, and it's whatever they can get the traction. Whatever they can get traction. It's like throwing spaghetti on the wall just to see what sticks, and it is crazy. Why do you put possessed things in storage and not destroy them? Well, Tracy, I'll tell you why. I'm an educator, and now keep in mind they're not possessed. Things cannot be possessed. You can have a demonic attachment. The demons don't possess things. That's not the purpose of possession. Possession happens to us. So they have demonic attachment, or they will use an object for the purpose of enticing or causing you to slip up and doing things perhaps maybe you shouldn't do. So the reason is I keep these things, and first of all, I remove them from people's homes. That's number one. Then I bless their homes, and if I can't get to them, I teach them how they can bless their homes. And I take these items and I bless them, and I also teach about them, because I go to paranormal conferences from time to time, and I bring these items and I let the people, because as an educator, I have a master's of education. I used to teach kids with learning and behavior disorders as well as adults, and people don't learn the same way. So there are visual learners, there's auditory, there's all kinds of ways to learn. So teaching methodologies is absolutely, to incorporate different teaching methodologies, you have to do that when you're giving a presentation. For me to talk about this doll that I had on the Eli Roth, the Legions of Exorcists show, if I were to simply talk about it, I'm going to lose half the audience, because it's very difficult for them to be able to conceptualize this doll without actually seeing a visual. So you bring a visual and say, here it is. And when they're actually in the presence of that doll, they want nothing to do with it. Now they get it, because I can sit here and talk about things like this all day long, but when you're actually in the presence of it, you everything in your body is saying, run away, put it up. I don't want anything to do with it. And that's exactly what happened at the Louisville Mid-South. At the Louisville Mid-South Paranormal Conference many, many years ago. I had that doll. I brought it to this conference, and I took it out of its case. I held it up to people, and no one, because they kept saying, take it out of the case. I'm like, this is not a good idea. So I did, and no one wanted to even touch it. They got the point then. So once I brought it out, they're like, okay, put it away. The whole room felt this overwhelming oppression. So as I was putting it back into the case, preparing to put it back in the case, someone asked me a question. I put it next to my laptop, turned around, my laptop caught fire. And that was the whole entire room. The people saw that. So this is why I teach people There's a lot of people, you may not be doing this, but there are a lot of people who are buying these cursed objects. A lot of people, quite a few. And then they call me and they wonder why they have these activity occurring in their home. Why is there violent activity? So when I tell the story, this is what happened. This is what they bought. This is why you shouldn't mess with these things. This is important as an educator to do so. So I'm not interested in opening up a museum. I'm not going to do any of that. Not interested. I just simply bring them to show them this is real. Stay away from it. Stop buying these things. And that is the truth. Yeah, now someone was asking. Yeah, someone was asking. Stormy is asking about attachment. So how do you know if you have an attachment? Everything changes. Not only there's physical manifestations, but there's internal manifestations as well. So when a person, let's say they're very gregarious, or they love being around people, they're outgoing, they're happy, everything is just wonderful. It's that their whole personality completely changes. Now, of course, that could be an issue of obviously a mental illness, something going on, a breakdown. There's a lot of there's a lot of explanations as to why someone would behave so dramatically, or drastically in a different way. But everything changes within the person's personality, their behavior, their mannerisms. So you have an individual that, let's say, may be very devoted to God and to relics and to the crucifix. And now when they begin to pray, they become very violent, aggressive. Their eyes can go solid black, that can be also a neurological condition as well. So it's not always demonic, but their whole personality changes. They push away from their family and their support group. And that's, there's a lot of people asking questions, guys. Just be patient, please. I've got chat here. I've got a chat here. And I got a chat here. So there's people. I've got tons of questions. And I got right now 37 questions on Messenger. I'm doing the best I can. I'm only one person, and I have two computers running at the same time asking questions. So just relax. Just relax. I just started 12 minutes ago. So just relax. I tell you what, good grief. Anyway. Well, but again, I have had people who were possessed, and they were Christian, but what they did is they opened themselves up by going to a location that was known to be demonically infested. And the moment that they say, even if they are declared Christian, but the moment that they go in and they say, is anyone here? Can you make a noise? Can you push me? Can you bite me? Can you pinch? Whatever it might be, that is a form of invitation. So yes, you can absolutely be Christian, and yes, you absolutely can be possessed. This idea that a Christian cannot be possessed, I am telling you, as well as Roman Catholic exorcists are telling you, the Roman Catholic has 2,000 years history of this, that a Christian most certainly can be possessed. Thank you. And in cases that I've had Christians that were in fact possessed. So just because you're a Christian, that doesn't mean that your free will goes out the door. That doesn't mean that at all. No, I don't wear sunglasses. Yeah, I'm not a witch. I don't believe in witchcraft. I just simply, that's my personal belief. I don't. Any type of energy, any type of force, any type of whatever it might be, is Christ, the Holy Spirit. That's the only spirit I want connecting with me. I know that there are people who practice witchcraft. That is their right to do so. Do I agree with it? No. But they also didn't ask my opinion. And so I mean, because I don't agree, but I just think any type of manifestation that should occur should come from Christ. The source should be God, always God, and only God. So anyway, there we go. Miss Wilma is sick tonight. Miss Wilma is sick, so she will not be here, regrettably. So Yeah. See. Yeah. Look, if you want to go to a psychic, well, look here. I'm not. Let me just say this. I'm not here to parent anybody. No, Joseph. The answer is no. I'm not here to parent anybody. If someone wants to delve into witchcraft, that is their right. If someone wants to go to a psychic, that is their right. Anything that I need to know, I take it to prayer. That's what I do. And I allow God to speak to me through prayer. If it's something that God wants me to know at that time, then God will divulge that information. I will find a way. He will, believe me, God will find a way to get you that information that you're seeking. That's how I live my life. Now, I am not here to judge anybody who chooses to go to psychics. If that's what you want to do, then that's your business. But I don't. And I don't because what I need to know is I go directly to God. And that's it. Well, thank you there, Dog Norman. I appreciate that. Thank you. Listen to this. I'm going to tell you something. When I saw this article, I have a lot of articles that I want to talk to you guys about. This is I don't know. You know, when I was 20 years ago in the paranormal community, there were people that were trying to get into the paranormal to become famous. They've all left. And they've all left. And I will tell you, if you want to get into the paranormal field because you're trying to get famous, you're not going to make it. And and here's what I mean by not going to make it. I'm not saying you're not going to get a show. You may get a show, but I'm telling you now, you're going to have a tremendous amount of obstacles. And that's not why you should get involved in the paranormal. Let me explain. So here's an article that I read the other day, and I thought, this is the wrong reason for even going into the paranormal, and you shouldn't do this. And it's an article by, I think, Higgypop. And it says here, the challenges paranormal YouTubers face in getting discovered. Thank you there, Marty. So it says, with a seeming growth in interest in the paranormal investigation, many teams have taken to uploading their investigations to YouTube. And there are some huge channels uploading spooky content like the Paranormal Files, and which is approaching 1 million subscribers and nearly 1 billion views. Many paranormal content creators on YouTube are reporting feeling frustrated that the channels and content aren't reaching the dizzying heights of some of the more established popular channels. Are these teams just too late to the game, or just getting paranormal content discovered on YouTube harder than ever? Oh, it's an algorithm. Well, thank you there. It's algorithm. I mean, that's what it is. You can't control the algorithms. And that's the thing. Well, that's very kind. That Sixth, I appreciate that. I agree, Joseph. That is so true. Joseph said a lot of paranormal YouTubers are fake. Joseph, you hit the nail right on the head. It is true. I did. I was on American Haunting. I've done a lot of television. To teach about people, to teach about the paranormal. But Joseph, you're right. So it says here, success on YouTube has never been easy. It requires creativity, adaptability, and consistency. But even those who put in the work argue that it's becoming more challenging to make a success of YouTube due to increased competition and higher audience expectations. This is it's not Gatorade, it's lemonade, sugar-free lemonade with my water. So, and for those of you, I see some of you are trying to come on. I can't bring you on right now because I'm running the show on multiple computers, and Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, they won't be able to see or hear you. So, but listen to this. This says this isn't just anecdotal. Many YouTubers are voicing their concerns about the platform's shifting landscape, making it more challenging for paranormal YouTubers to get their content noticed. And what's happening, as Joseph mentioned, is a lot of people are now faking evidence. Now that drives me nuts. Stop faking the evidence. Stop it. Stop. See, here's why people do this. When you fake evidence, people are going to find out. Especially people like I've been in the paranormal field for a very long time. The first time I ever investigated was 35 years ago. Thank you. 35 years ago. We've been in they call us OGs in the paranormal field. We know the fake videos from the real ones, because we've seen them. When you've been in the field for as long as many of the old timers have been, I'm telling you, we have seen them all. So, and the moment you fake a video, then your credibility is zero. That's it. You're done, and that's the truth. Well, actually, I am one of the I guess the OGs in the clergy. 20 years ago when I started, over 20 years ago, there was nobody. There was no Catholic clergy helping the paranormal community. There was none. And my friends kept saying, James, we need clergy assistance. We have no one to help us with these cases. And I did not want to go public with my ministry. I wanted to stay quiet. And I just wanted to stay, kind of away from the scene. And I didn't want to be, thrusted in the spotlight, so to speak. I did not want that, because actually I'm very, very reserved person. So when I go into a room, I am not rambunctious. I'm not loud. I have arrived. Some people, I'm usually off to the side, quietly speaking to a few people, but that's me. So I'm very much an introvert. And so I did not want to go public, but the moment that I did, then it was just, that's when, well, thank you very much. That's when the Ghost Adventures called, and History and National Geographic and all these channels called, because there was no Catholic clergy. So this was new. And I didn't have a book about how to help the paranormal community. I just did it. So, okay, there's a help, and I did it. And that's how it was. So there's a lot of clergy have come and gone through the years, a lot of clergy. And there's a lot of clergy who use the Exorcist as a tagline to become famous in the paranormal. And most of them are not around anymore, because they did it to be famous. And you can't. Actually, I just did a documentary there on the gates of hell. So again, if you want to watch the documentary, it's now live. And I'm not, folks, I promise you, I'm going to be here for a little bit. So if I don't get to your questions right now, I promise you I will. I promise. So I'll get to your questions. I'll be here for a little while. So we're good to go. We're good to go. USOC, I'm Catholic. USOCC.org is the set. So that's the thing. There was no book. I just said, okay, paranormal teams, if you need clergy, here I am. How can I help you? And it just exploded. It exploded. Let me tell you, this is over 20 years of work. And now this is in 8 days or 9 days. This is 8 or 9 days of emails that I have just on my ministry email alone. And I have it to where it's set up to where, it throws away, the trash emails. These are legitimate emails from people asking me for help. Watch. Look at this. This is just the ministry. I think that's 8 or 9 days. I can't exactly remember for 100% sure. I think it's 9. 18,037 emails. There you go. 18,037 emails. And that's from people asking me to help them. And that's how many people need assistance. Now, even now, there's a lot of clergy out there that are helping, which I think is wonderful. Well, I think it's wonderful. So I do like Sage. As a matter of fact, I did a presentation on Sage. I might do I've done it before. I just did it recently, not too long ago. But if Zach asked me and he wanted me to be on another episode of Ghost Adventures, I'd be happy to help. And I even told Zach, look, I don't have to be on camera. If you're doing a presentation and you need my assistance, I'm there. He knows that. So there we go. Hold on to just hang tight with your questions, guys. There's so many questions. I promise you, I'll try to get to them. But listen to this. I wanted to get back to this YouTube. The primary for people who are trying to get noticed on YouTube, who are into paranormal, are getting frustrated because their views are not being seen. The same thing with even on TikTok. A lot of people, I've seen people have 4 or 5 million followers, and then they make a video and they get like 200 views. Well, it's all because of the algorithm. But I don't know. I don't know why. But yeah, the Gates of Hell Cemetery. You go to my website, my to YouTube, and you can watch it for free. It's bishopjameslong.com. Scroll down to where it says social media links, and you will see YouTube. Click it. Make sure you subscribe. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Because first of all, TikTok, we don't know what's going to happen with TikTok. We just don't know. So you subscribe. It's free. Subscribe. And also, or follow, or whatever it's called, because I'm going to be doing more videos over there as well. So more documentaries, and that's what I want. That's what I really want to focus on. But thank you there. And for those of you who have no idea what I'm saying, thank you. People are offering gifts to the ministry, so thank you very much. I appreciate that. So the primary culprit appears to be YouTube's algorithm, which is designed to keep viewers engaged on the platform for as long as possible. It has undergone significant changes over the years. These changes often prioritize certain types of content, sometimes at the expense of the niche or the genre, like paranormal investigations. So to keep viewers engaged, the algorithm identifies videos that generate high engagement, such as likes. This is why it is so important when I go live. We always tell people, just keep liking, just keep liking, just keep tap, 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 tap. Because the more likes you have, then you get into TikTok's algorithm and any other algorithm if you're watching on any other platform. And then that's how people say, oh, that pops up on my feed. That's it. So such as likes, comments, shares, and watch time. So the algorithm then promotes these videos to users on the homepage and in the up next section that appears after a video ends. So when users search for keywords related to paranormal content, videos with higher engagement metrics are more likely to appear at the top of YouTube's search results, increasing the likelihood that they will be clicked on and viewed. So the claim that YouTube is getting harder often comes from changes in the platform's policies, the monetization or being paid, the rules, the algorithm updates. And over time, YouTube has shifted to focus towards more mainstream and advertising-friendly content. So look, here's the deal. I understand. You want to if you're doing a. People always ask me, well, how should I go about it? I want to do the paranormal investigation. I want to start a team. What should I do? The very first thing I tell them is, look, if you're doing this to get famous in the paranormal, then you need to shift your priority. Thank you. And not because there's nothing wrong. Hey, if you get famous, that's great. Congratulations. Truly. The problem is that becomes a priority. And then the temptation to fake evidence, I'm telling you, once you do that, then all credibility is gone. And in the paranormal community, your credibility is absolutely crucial. So while if you're going to go on live or if you're going to put videos up, this is what I encourage you to do. Thank you there, Marty. And thank you to all of you. Find a team that really just loves the paranormal, that wants to investigate. You're going to gather together as a friends and just you enjoy it. You have a passion for it. You create these wonderful videos. You put them on YouTube, and if they get noticed, wonderful. If they don't, that's okay too. Because I promise you that the more experience that you get, and if you just stay deeply in passion, just continue your passion, your motivation, but your priority should not be to be famous. Because I've seen so many good teams start out really great. And then they get that one taste of a television show, like they get a guest spot, and then all of a sudden their team just crumbles because that becomes the priority. And that's a bad thing. So, okay. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and ask. Well, thank you there, True Crime. I appreciate you, all of you guys subscribing. So that's very kind of you. No, this is in Kentucky. The Gates of Hell is in Kentucky. I have not seen The Possession of Hannah Grace. And I got to tell you something. I don't really watch a lot of possession movies because, to be blunt, most of them are junk. And not only that, but then I get frustrated. So I'm watching, I'm like, oh, come on, that's nonsense. That doesn't happen. Or this is so like, for example, The Pope's Exorcist. I was so excited about watching this because I thought, that Gabriel, it's based on Gabriel Morth's life, and I thought, well, this will be interesting. But then the ending, they destroyed it. They destroyed it. It was so dumb. That's just my opinion. I got so frustrated. I just said, okay, I can't do this anymore. I'm losing brain cells. So I got up and I left. I just walked out because it was just that bad. So to me, it was very frustrating. Okay, I see dark people at night. And no, they are not shadow people. They are spirits. How do you know they're spirits? But start out as a black mass. But the closer they get, the more I can see distinct features. Okay, I have my opinion on what they are. Well, many people, now it's interesting with shadow people because there's a lot of debates on shadow people. I have had cases where shadow people, and you say they weren't shadow people, they were spirits. But I have had cases where they started out as manifestation of shadow people. And as the investigation continued, then you begin to see features. Now, some people argue that is because the spirit that is there is trying to manifest for a full body apparition, or at least to the point where you can see it. I've also had cases where these shadow people, these shadow figures, it was absolutely demonic. So any paranormal investigator will tell you that they have seen shadow people or shadow figures that were not malevolent, and they have had cases where they were. So it kind of, oh, you're welcome. So it kind of, there's a lot of debate in the paranormal community. I wish I could bring you on, my friend. I can't bring you on because I have a running show on 2 different computers, and they won't be able to see or hear you. So yeah, I don't know. I might later on just do TikTok and bring people up, but I can't do that because Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Rumble, Spreaker, can't hear you or see you. So anyway, that's the problem with shadow people. We just simply don't know. What's the best advice to give to someone who's grieving? My advice would be to allow yourself to go through the stages of grief without feeling bad or selfish, and you need to go through those stages. That's very important. And there are stages of grief, and so I encourage that we look. Every one of us has, I think, have experienced grief in one form or another. And so, but I encourage you to go through those stages and allow yourself the time that it takes to properly grieve. Some people can grieve and get over a loss, faster than others. It doesn't mean that they don't love that person any less. It just simply means that we all grieve in our own different way. So. Okay. Yeah, that's right. We can all relate to grief because we've all lost our loved ones or our fur babies. So I will though. Thank you there, Monstar, for sharing. Yeah. Okay. They have Episcopal orders. Who does? All right. While you guys are having that conversation, I'm going to talk about this probably a little bit later, but this is an interesting conversation that I saw that I want to talk to you guys about this. Have you heard of cattle? I think I can say mutilations, where allegedly there's supposed to be, these cows that have these laser, kind of almost like a laser surgery, and organs are removed. Have you heard of this? Well, my grandmother was Native American. She was Cherokee. So was my grandfather. Yeah, we'll get to the Book of Enoch in just a second, but listen to this. This is from, again, Higgy Pop, and I wanted to point this out to you. It is weird. It is, yeah, skinwalkers. There's a lot of people say these are skinwalkers. But the question is why cows are targeted by aliens in cattle mutilations. So cattle mutilation is a term used to describe the mysterious and often gruesome death and disfigurement of livestock, particularly cows. Now, these incidents have been reported worldwide, and are often associated with unexplained phenomena or alien visitations. Now, the mutilations are said to involve very clean and precise cuts, as if made by a sharp instrument. And this level of precision is unusual in natural predator attack. So, and that makes sense, as it is reported in the lack of blood found on some of the scene, which is puzzling considering the extent of the injuries. Now, certain organs or tissues are commonly removed with great precision in these cases, often seeming surgical in nature. So these often include ears, eyes, tongues, udders, and reproductive organs. And typically there are no signs of struggle, and scavengers or predators seem to avoid the carcasses altogether. And that's obviously very unusual. I mean, you're a scavenger, you're going to scavenge, but it seems like these scavengers don't even touch these cows. The leading paranormal theory for explaining these unexplained injuries and deaths is that aliens are responsible. This idea suggests that extraterrestrials conduct experiments on livestock for unknown reasons. And the idea raises the question, why would extraterrestrials focus on cows rather than any other animal? So one theory suggests that extraterrestrials might be interested in cows because some of the organs typically removed in cattle mutilations, such as reproductive organs and the digestive system, are similar to human organs. No, this is not hogwash. Google it. Again, if you're going to come up here and be rude and disrespectful, you just please go, please. Now, someone said got milk. Now, here's the deal. I don't know why this is occurring, but we do know that these cows, in fact, are having these items removed from their body with laser precision. We know this. So this is Google it. Just Google it. Now you might be saying hogwash as far as who is doing this. I don't know. Now, studying these organs could provide aliens, the argument is, with insights into this mammal biology, potentially including human biology. Cows have large bodies with the abundant blood and tissues, making them suitable for various types of biological analysis. So if aliens are studying Earth's biology, cows provide ample material for examination. Yeah, heard of it. If aliens are studying Earth's biology, well, there we go. So cows are also found in large numbers worldwide and often graze in open fields, making them an easy target for frequent study. Here's the deal. If they're not being done by aliens, and I'm not saying that they are, I'm just saying that as an argument, that is a theory, then the question becomes, if it's not alien life doing this, then who is? Because someone is clearly doing this to cows. And if they're doing this, and it's precision, it's very odd. When you have this type of, when you're moving, for example, you're removing an organ from a cow, you would think that there would be a tremendous amount of blood. That's just common sense. But there's not. There isn't. So why aren't we seeing a tremendous amount of blood with the removal of these kidneys and liver and digestive? That's strange to me. I mean, really. So for those of you who are going to then come, I would love to hear your theory. What is your theory on this? And what we're going to talk? Hold on. There's a lot of questions on so many different topics, guys, and I'd be going all over the place. Hold on for a second. I want, or Deborah said, or sometimes there's no blood at all. So that's the thing. I don't know. There's even the argument that there's vampires, but I would like to know what's causing this. Because now some of you may think, well, this is just stupid. Well, no, actually it's not. If you were the owner of that cow represents income, and sometimes a substantial amount of income. And when they're mutilated like that, that is an issue. That is a big issue, because that's loss. That's income loss. So something I don't know why we're doing it. Now, however, it could be that we only notice instances of unexplained mutilations in cows because we monitor them more closely. Yeah, but this still doesn't explain the anomalies. And it says, as well as pointing fingers at extraterrestrials, the government has also been blamed for cattle mutilation. Why? What would the government, why? What was the point? Well, the suggestion is that these mutilations are part of a covert operation or experiments by secret agencies, possibly related to biological or chemical warfare. Some believe that cults or other groups with specific rituals could be behind the mutilations. That's a good question. Why cows? I mean, I just, it is really interesting. But for those of you, listen to this. Cattle mutilation reports date back to at least 1960s, with numerous cases of documented in the United States, particularly in rural areas. One of the most famous cases occurred in 1967 in Colorado, known as the Snippy the Horse case. So there you go. Take a look at that. Snippy the Horse case. The horse was found with precise cuts. No blood at the scene, sparking widespread media coverage and speculation about the extraterrestrial involvement and prompting investigations by law enforcement and other agencies. So reports continued in the 1970s, especially in the United States, where states like Colorado, New Mexico, Montana were hotspots for these incidents. By the way, even in the UK, they've had their fair share of cattle mutilation. So it's not just in the United States, although they have been less frequent compared to the United States and South America. In 2001, the Animal Pathology Field Unit was set up in the UK to look into various animal mutilations, including cattle and sheep. So this organization was actually created in the UK. The organization focused on unexplained animal deaths in the UK, documenting several incidents that bore similarities to the classic cattle mutilation that's reported in other countries. I just don't know. And here's what's really interesting. Animals like coyotes, birds, and even insects are known to feed on the soft tissues of the deceased animals. We know this. The appearance of precision cuts can be misleading, as scavengers often create neat-looking wounds, the argument says. These wounds, perceived as precision cuts, can also be caused by decomposition, which begins immediately after an animal passes. Gases build up inside the body, causes it to bloat and sometimes split, which can create the appearance of clean cuts. But again, it wouldn't explain why there's a lack of blood. I don't know. The jury is out on this. The problem is there are too much of this occurring. So we don't know. We just simply don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's a crazy it's a very interesting topic to discuss. Now, personally, I think that there has to be a logical explanation, maybe a physiological, but that's, or biological. That's my immediate thought, but I don't know. I don't know. Right. Yeah, there's just a lack of blood there, and you would think that even if there's a buildup of gas and there's a split, there would be blood that would be present. Well, in these cases, it's not. Yeah, and you're right. It's been drained. It's been drained. So I don't know. Speaking of things that I can't explain this one to me. I would be really interested in hearing your theories on this. I saw this article as well, and it said the unexplained phenomenon of spontaneous human combustion. Now, have you ever heard of, some of you probably have heard of this before. Yeah, you can ask a question. But some of you probably have never heard of that topic. I'm sure if you're in the paranormal, you love the paranormal, you definitely have heard of this. But this is crazy. Spontaneous human combustion. Now, listen to this. Stories of people seemingly bursting into flames while going on their daily lives might sound something like from the X-Files, but the phenomenon of spontaneous human combustion dates back to centuries. So one of the earliest recorded instances involves Polonus Vorsitus. It's a horseman from Milan, in the 15th century. And according to reports, after consuming strong wine, well, that'll do it to you, this person began to belch fire. ultimately bursting into flames and passing away in front of his parents. That account was documented by a Danish physician who allegedly discussed the incident with the descendants. However, the accuracy of these claims remain unverified. Now, that's crazy. Yeah, gases. Yeah. He was temple just for investigation. Jim Jones there. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. That whole Jim Jones thing is crazy. But listen, for the first well-documented case of the human combustion in the early 19th century in Ireland, in 1833, the Dublin Journal of Medical and Chemical Sciences reported an incident involving Michael Flaherty. It's a 76-year-old man who passed away in his home on December 22nd, 1832. The fire department confined to the area found Flaherty's body with no signs of accelerants. Remarkably, some of his bones had been cremated at temperatures between 700 to 1,000 degrees Celsius, while others remain intact. That is insanity. Folks, do you realize how hot that is? I mean, it cremated his bones, and there was nothing in his body that would have caused this combustion. So records from 17th century France also describe similar spontaneous human combustion-like symptoms, though these accounts often lack the detail. In December 1852, Charles Dickens introduced a memorial portrayal of spontaneous human combustion in his novel Bleak House. The character Mr. Crook, an elderly alcoholic, is found reduced to ashes in his apartment, leaving behind a greasy residue and a lingering smell of burnt meat. So critics accused Dickens of sensationalism, but he defended his depiction by citing historical cases. There's one in 1731. No, this is not lightning. This wasn't a lightning strike. Dickens wasn't alone in exploring the topic of spontaneous human combustion and literature. Authors like Washington Irving, Herman Melville, Mark Twain also wrote about characters meeting fiery ends. Now, one of the most famous modern cases was in 1951, when 67-year-old Mary Reeser was found burned to death in her Florida home. The previous evening, she had seemed perfectly fine, but her landlady grew suspicious when she noticed the doorknob of Mary's house was extremely hot. And upon entering, the police discovered Mary's body almost entirely reduced to ashes, with only one leg remaining intact. The fire had not spread beyond her chair. And skeptics argue that her heavy smoking and use of sleeping pills may have caused her to fall asleep with the lit cigarette. Well, another famous case, the fate of John Irving Bentley in 1966, it made news. John was a 92-year-old retired physician who was found in his Pennsylvania home by a meter reader after they detected a strange odor and noticed blue smoke. When he reached the bathroom, he discovered John's remains, a pile of ashes, and one intact foot. John was known to be a pipe smoker. Some speculate that his pipe tobacco might have ignited his clothing. I don't know. This is crazy. This to me, this is really truly odd. Now there are some people who don't smoke. People say, well, they're drinking, or they're smoking, or taking. Well, there are people who've had these cases where it wasn't that at all. And by the way, there was one case in 1980s, and in the 1990s, spontaneous human combustion was a topic that frequently appeared in the pages of Fortean Times. And the reports of individuals suddenly bursting into flames from around the world were common, capturing the imagination and curiosity of many. However, the phenomenon seemed to fade from public attention over the past couple of decades. But that changed towards the end of 2017, when two new cases emerged in quick succession. So the first incident involved John Nolan, a 70-year-old man who inexplicably caught fire while walking along a busy London street in broad daylight. September of 2017. Shocked passerby attempt to extinguish the flames and quickly called for help. But unfortunately, John later succumbed to his injuries in the hospital. Fire investigators were unable to determine the cause of the blaze. No accelerants, by the way, were found on John's body. None. Just a few months later, the run up to Christmas, a second man experienced a similar fate. The incident also occurred by the roadside, was witnessed by a local resident. The unmanned name passed away at the scene despite efforts by bystanders to put out the flames. This is just insane. Truly, I don't know much about this particular topic. I've seen this before. I know that it has happened, but it's just crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, we don't know. Because there have been some. I can understand some people saying even if it's let's say it's someone smoking a pipe, or even you're on your couch, you have a cigarette, and the cigarette falls. Now, my immediate thought process is, okay, is the couch, is the fabric, does it have some type of accelerant in there? Is the fabric that's made, because there are some fabrics that burn much faster and hotter than others. So that would be my first instinct, is to wonder about that. But when you have people that are just simply walking down the street and then they just combust, that's crazy. Yeah, extremely hot fire. So I don't know. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So anyway, if you're asking questions and I miss it, you're welcome to ask a question. I'll try my best to try to to grab it and to answer. So yeah, it's insane. This is by T.K. Randall. How many of you have heard of elementals? I'm not a big fan of the mega churches. I'm not a fan of prosperity gospel preachers. I'm just not. I mean, there's the idea that God's going to bless you based on how much money you give to the church. That's heresy. I don't believe in that at all. Your blessings from God is free. You can't buy God's blessings. So I think anybody who makes you feel guilty because you didn't put a certain percentage into the plate, that's a problem. That is a problem. So I just think that there are far too many prosperity gospel preachers out there living a very, very luxurious life. Now, I'm not saying they have to be homeless. I mean, no. You can have a salary. But I mean, there's one particular preacher that loves to brag about having 19 chandeliers, and one of his chandelier costs more than your home. That is gluttony. That is just that really is a problem. That's really a problem. And you're telling people that they need to, and there are preachers, and this is what they do. Thank you. There are preachers that will say, you have to put more money, and the more money you give, the more God's going to bless you. And then they have the audacity to tell the parishioners, don't pay your rent. Don't pay your mortgage. Put that mortgage check into the collection plate and watch God triple. All of a sudden, you're going to have magically that's going to be $5,000, $10,000 in your bank account. And then people do this, and then they fall behind on their mortgage. That to me is heretical. That's evil. And I just do not like that at all. So that's a problem. That's a big problem. But I was asking about elementals. Elementals are really interesting. But this is by T.K. Randall. Police in Zimbabwe claim to have been harassed by goblins. So police, in Zimbabwe are claiming to have been harassed by goblins. So it's a totally bizarre story. The Zimbabwe this week concerns allegations of goblins, and they have been plaguing the local police. It says, we've seen some strange reports over the years, but in some parts of the world, local beliefs and superstitions can give rise to stories that tend to be even stranger than most. The latest example comes courtesy of news outlets in Zimbabwe concerning the Gwambe police in the south area, which has allegedly been deserted due to officers being harassed and even attacked by female goblins in the middle of the night. It says, we built a police station for the officers, and initially they patrolled in pairs. Local councillor was quoted as saying, however, they haven't been able to stay for extended periods. Police officers describe being harassed, the bodies being violated, doors opening on their own, and things climbing on the roof. making it impossible to sleep. And there was even a meeting between police officials and village heads to discuss this matter. So the police from Plumtree withdrew the officers from Gwambe, stating that they wouldn't endanger them any further. So the police left. And the report concludes that by noting that officers seemed to have difficulty finding alternative accommodation, but that they were determined not to be further subjected to the attacker. So what's exactly going on here? Perhaps the police officers really were being harassed at night, but it's unlikely that their assailants were literal goblins. It's more likely they were simply interpreting the perpetrators as such. But ultimately, we don't know. So the police have left this village and said in Gwambe, say, look, we are being attacked by goblins, and we're done. We're out of here. See ya. Isn't that crazy? I don't know. Yeah, you're right. You're right. In that we have to look at the culture and the beliefs and the superstitions and things of this nature. Well, thank you. But there's a lot of people. Now, there are a lot of people that believe in elementals. And thank you very much, by the way, for the 62,000 likes on TikTok. So there are absolutely people that are convinced that elementals exist. Elementals are nature creatures, if you will, nature beings. And the belief is that when you destroy the habitat, the local habitat of the area, that you can have these little creatures show up and cause a lot of problem. And once you restore that habitat, then the activity will decrease. So, well, thank you there, Protein Shake. I know it's interesting. Great things that were never heard of before, and now we have them. Well, I think we try to put a terminology on certain things. Yep, repent. I agree with you, because that's what we actually, if you, someone saying repent. Well, I don't remember seeing you ever in our Bible study that we have on Sundays and Wednesdays, but I actually talk about repentance quite often. So that's a big part of the Christian faith. So I talk about that often, actually, even Monday through Friday when we do night prayer. So I would love for you to show up. Well, thank you for subscribing again, and to show up during our Bible study and night prayer. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. How do you, if I've never repented? Oh, it's just as simply going to God and asking for forgiveness. We all sin. We all do things that we wish we didn't do. And whether we lose our temper or something of this nature. They did. Yeah. And there were, and people still believe in vampires. I've never met, I met people who claim to be vampires. Okay. But do vampires, do they sparkle? Do they sparkle in the sunshine, or do they burst into flames in the sunshine, or do they turn into little bats? Now, of course, a lot of people say, well, there's psychic vampires and things of this nature. But that really is hard to validate that. I think it is. Anybody can say I'm a psychic vampire. Okay, well, right. I've seen some, being in the paranormal community for a long time, I've seen some really, really crazy things. I'm curious, do you believe, first of all, if you believe in ghosts, because I know some people don't, but if you believe in them, do you think ghosts can see us and our surroundings? I'm curious. So if you believe in ghosts, do you believe that they can actually see us and our surroundings? Like what we're doing right now, ghosts are here and they're watching me do this presentation, or they're at your house and watching you, listening and watching. So a lot of people say, yeah. Okay. Yes and yes. All right. Well, here's interesting. An interesting article that I want to talk to you guys about and see. Get your viewpoint. We have on TikTok. We also have a little poll, so we'll have to see. People have always asked me, well, there's no such thing as ghosts. The ghosts don't exist. That's and they're very, very firm in that belief. And they say, well, the Bible says there's no such thing as ghosts. Actually, no, just the opposite. And so people, they don't like when I say that. But look, here I've talked about this before. There's actually two very well-known verses in Scripture where the Bible absolutely talks about ghosts, and it doesn't say demons. So when Jesus was crucified and he appeared to them in Luke chapter 24, verse 36 through 51. So he appeared to them and they were terrified. And it says here, got some eye here. It says here, why are you so frightened? Why do you doubt? And because it says here, they were frightened and terrified because they thought they were seeing a ghost. Oh, wow. Do you believe in ghosts can see us in our surrounding? 100% said yes. Thank you for that vote on TikTok. So they said they thought they were seeing a ghost. And Jesus said, why are you so frightened? Why do you doubt? Look at my hands and feet. See that I am. Touch me and find out for yourselves. Ghosts don't have flesh, as you see that I have. So as I've talked about this before, that tells us that the disciples had the concept of what ghosts were. And also, Jesus did not say ghosts do not exist. Jesus clarified ghosts don't have flesh and bones, as you see that I have. And furthermore, when Jesus was walking on water, now I've talked about this a lot in Matthew chapter 14, verse 26. They were terrified. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified. It's a ghost, they said, and cried out in fear. So we clearly see that the disciples at least had the concept of ghost. But listen to this. So, Can Ghosts See Us in Our Surroundings by Steve Higgins. And this is one of the biggest unknowns among ghost investigators. It's also widely contradicted depending on the beliefs of the investigators, and throws into questions many of the common beliefs that paranormal investigators share. This person was on a public ghost investigation. There were about 10 of us and stood in a fairly small kitchen of an old manor house. And several of the guests started calling out to any spirits that might haunt this area of the house. And because it was a kitchen, they addressed a chef. And that's fair enough. But this person says, what I thought was interesting was that at one point someone called out, are we in your way? Are we stopping you from doing your job? Now, this implies that the spirit of the chef could see us, standing in the kitchen, which is fine. But if you believe this to be the case, then you also need to accept that the ghost would see the rest of the kitchen as it looks today. So having previously been completely destroyed by fire and restored as a tourist attraction, the layout of the kitchen is probably now very different to how it once was to allow visitors to walk through. And none of the fixtures or fittings are original. The food of the worktops are plastic and glued to the counter. None of the appliances work, etc. So if a ghost can see us in our surroundings, then it must realize that it's not in a working kitchen anymore. Therefore, the ghost would not feel that we are in its way and wouldn't be going on about its duties there. It makes that question the ghost hunter asked a bit contradictory. So either the ghost can see us and recreate fake kitchen, or it sees a kitchen as it was without us being there. This is why I love the movie. Janelle's asking about my favorite movie. I love the movie The Others. That was it was true. I tell you what, I wish there were more movies like that. It was so original and really fantastic. Nicole Kidman, just a great, great movie. So if you have not seen it, you might want to. Well, thank you. You might want to check that out. You might want to check that out. The Others. It's called The Others with Nicole Kidman, and I don't want to give it away. We don't want to do that. But if you have not seen it, I encourage you. If you love the paranormal, I promise you, that's going to be one of your all-time favorite movie. It's 2001. So I'll give you a basic. I don't want to give it away. Let's see. Okay, here the plot. In 1940, it's based on 1945. Grace Stewart resides in a remote country house in Jersey. It's a Channel Island formerly occupied by the Germans, with her two young children, Anne and Nicholas, both of whom suffer from severe sensitivity to light. And because of this, Grace keeps the home darkened with large curtains. And one day a housekeeper, Miss Bertha Mills, the gardener Edmund Tuttle, and a mute girl named Lydia arrived, all seeking employment. And Grace hires them and is pleased to learn that the three worked in the same house years prior. So, but I'm not going to give too much. I want to stop. Don't want to give any more. So I encourage you, if you've not seen it, watch it. You're going to love it. I'm not. I'm gonna stop right there. Is it scary? I wouldn't know. No, it's not really. I wouldn't classify it as jump scary. It's more psychological. But it is really fantastic. Definitely on the top of. Thank you, there, Desiree. On the top list. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Yeah, it does. The end. I will say that it ends with a really spectacular twist. That's it. Folks, watch it. Just watch it. It's called The Others, 2001. Nicole Kidman. Watch it tonight. And when you show up, if you come at tomorrow, we have Bible study. We're gonna have Bible study tomorrow at 8. I'm not leaving. But if we're gonna have Bible study tomorrow at 8. Show up, and then I want to know what you think. Okay? No spoiler alert. No, you can't give spoilers. No spoilers. It's great. But if there's, for those of you, Sixth Sense, for those of you who have seen this movie, can you think of another movie that's similar? That's because it's a hard movie to, I can't think of any movie that's The Sixth Sense. Yeah, he did. Tom Cruise was the executive director. Or I think it was the executive producer. Shutter Island is a fantastic movie as well. Boy, Shutter Island is great. So I really love them. Let's see. I will say this: there is a there is a TV show. Now this is adult oriented. I'm telling you that right now. I'm not going to tell. We're not going to go into detail. But if you like movies, I love movies and TV shows where monsters come out at night. Where they have to hide. Everybody goes out. It's a normal life during the day, but then at night you better be in. You better. I love movies like that. So there is a television show, but I'm telling you now, this is not appropriate for kids. It's called From. From. It is the hit horror series where anyone who enters a small town, and I'm not going to tell you anything else. It's a really great, if you like movies or shows like that, you got to watch it. But again, it is adult oriented. So a kid should not be watching that. But I think it's, I don't know where, I saw it on Amazon. I think that's where I got it. But I think there's 3 seasons and they're coming out. They're already making another one. So it's called From, From. Yeah, I'm not for sure what network. So let's see. Yeah, I watch it on Amazon. That's where I saw it. But they say that MGM Plus, Fubo TV, Spectrum on demand. But again, like I said, I watch it on Spectrum. So you might want to check that out. From From. Yep. Go ahead and just go ahead. And if you have a question, just ask, because there's a lot. Because remember, I have 2 computers running, so I have a lot of chat rooms open right now. So there's a lot of them. So yeah, I think it's a very good movie. I think it's a very good show. And if you have not seen it, take a look, check it out. I'd like to know what you guys think about it. It's on Sling. Okay. Netflix. Okay. But if you have not seen The Others, watch it. And if you've not seen From, what's The Honor? What is that? Is that a horror show? Yeah, American Haunting. Yeah, that's an interesting movie as well. Okay. Yeah, let me know what you think about that. Here's a paranormal question I have for you guys. Do you believe people can actually see other people's auras? From is a series. FROM is a series. It's a relatively new. And then The Others is a movie. So do you believe people can actually see other people's auras? A lot of people say yes on TikTok. I have seen Nefarious. It's a fantastic movie. So a lot of people saying yep, and some people saying yep, you can. So more people are saying yes than no. So when you see people's auras, I'm just curious, is it something like it just naturally happens? You can just look at somebody and say, yep, I see the aura? Or some people say you have to tune in or tap into that? I don't tap into that ability. I don't know the terminology. Does it just come naturally? For those of you, so for those of you who say that you can see them, you just see them. You can't turn that off? I think that would be kind of annoying because, I mean, I would think that if you see, here's the deal. If you're just meeting somebody and you see this glow, I think that would be kind of annoying to constantly be seeing the glow. I mean, well, let's talk about, let me tell you about this. I saw this the other day and I wanted to bring this up with you guys to see what you think. The article says why so many people think they can see auras. So it says here in the article, this just says what the article says. There's absolutely no evidence at all to support claims that auras exist, yet countless people claim to be able to see them around others. Surely all these people can't be liars. So what are they seeing? If these people really are seeing auras around people they meet, then why can't everyone? Is it a special gift that they're born with, a trick that they've learned, or something they're imagining? So if you can't see these mysterious fields of energy, then you might be wondering what auras actually are. There we go. So those who can see auras often claim that the gift is a paranormal or psychic ability, that some higher part of their brain has been unlocked that the rest of us don't have access to. That ability allows them to see an oval-shaped halo known as the auric egg around people that they encounter, and sometimes even photos. It usually extends from about 3 centimeters to a meter from the body in all directions, including below the feet into the ground. Okay, so the color of this light is said to tell the viewers about the person. Usually gives insights into the person's character or personality, the state of mind, or emotional state. Oh, so she had a near-death experience and said she was able to, okay. So the viewer may also see flickering at different rates and different luminescence. So these factors can also tell a viewer about the person. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they get the ability. Some people say it's a psychic ability. Some, I don't know. Now, so this article says how to see auras. Now, some will tell you that the ability to see auras is a gift that you're born with. And the others will tell you that it's a new age skill that can be learned. If you want to find out if you have this inbuilt ability or want to train your auric sight, then here are a few tips. Auric fields are thought to be all about energy. So it's important to first understand how the energy of our bodies feels. First, get in touch with your own energy by ensuring you are in a comfortable and relaxed state. You can do this by closing your eyes for a few minutes and concentrate on breathing slowly and steadily. And the next step is to start priming yourself to begin seeing auras by trying to understand what characteristics, emotions, mannerisms might present themselves in auric form. And to do this, then when you're in someone's company, try to get a feel for their energy and how you feel towards them and how you think they feel towards you. That's very empathic almost, isn't it? And now you're ready to read and to see an aura. And you can try a photo to start with. It's possible, they say, to see auras in photographs as well as in person. Or a better option is to practice on a friend, ideally one who doesn't mind you staring at them for a while. You should either use a clear photo of someone stands in front of you, a white colored wall, and ask your friend to adopt that same position. Okay, so I'm kind of, now here the question then is, okay, so if you can see this aura, well, I mean, how do you interpret them? So you see this glow about them, and maybe it's a red or orange or yellow or purple. Well, One thing most who believe in auras do seem to agree upon is that colors, flashes, and type of fields experienced represent different things to different people. So discovering what the colors and shapes mean is a learning journey that only you can do alone. It's common for auras to be multicolored with auras of differing tones or shades. Well, that's a problem, isn't it? Because then if it's subjective, then you may see someone's aura as blue, and you may say that you're at peace. Whereas another person who says they see aura and it's blue, they may say, oh, you're depressed. See, that to me, then it seems like they're very subjective. To me, that I don't know. I don't know if that's how it works. It's believed that a vibrant color represents spiritual awareness and well-being, while dull and muted colors mean like a lack of self-knowledge or even an illness. And you'll find the colors within someone's aura can vary depending on the part of the body that radiates from. For example, colors which emanate from the chest are said to relate to the heart, perhaps in connection to the affairs of the heart, or as a moral, literal reflection of their health and well-being. So it's based off the intuition, Shayla says. Okay. So my aura is green, which is the heart chakra. Is okay. I have no idea what that means, but I guess hopefully it's a good thing. And so I don't know. Now making sense of what you see will enable you to tell a lot about someone's character and lifestyle. It can also tell you if someone is being honest with you or not about their feelings. And it can even let you diagnose diseases. Uh-oh. I don't know about that one. Although the colors will be different for all observers, here's a simplified rundown of what the colors are said to mean. Okay. Seeing red, according this is allegedly from this article. Tell me if it's true. I don't read auras. I have no idea. See, now Jude says my aura is aqua. Okay, here's a simplified rundown according to this article. Seeing red usually relates to the heart, circulation, and the physical body. Orange relates to reproductive organs and emotions. Yellow relates to life energy. Green relates to lungs. Blue is related to the throat and thyroid. Violet relates to crown and nervous system. Silver is the color of spiritual and physical abundance. And gold indicates enlightenment, divine protection. An individual with a gold aura is being guided by his or her highest good. Black is said to draw energy to it and transform it, while white represents purity. I don't know. I used to know someone who actually did a photograph, and she said that she could, get your aura on her photography. And that's actually there's several people that can do that. So I don't know. See, now Lauren says my aura looks purple. So I got green, agua. I don't know what agua is, and purple. I don't know. You guys tell. There's a lot of people who say that this is just nonsense. Some people are absolutely convinced. See, mine blue. I don't know. So I have no idea what that even means. I don't even know what blue means. I don't know what purple means. I know what this, according to this article, but I don't know what green means. I don't know what purple means. I don't know what blue means. I have no idea. See, that's the thing. So if you say someone's aura is blue or someone's aura is purple, you're awesome. Someone's aura is green. I don't know. What does it mean? Spiritual hearted. Okay, well. Anyway, I wanted to present that to you guys and see what you guys thought, or you thought that was just utter nonsense. Some people think it's utter nonsense. Some people don't. But nonetheless, there's a lot of people who are absolutely 100% convinced that it's true. I'm trying to find. Oh, by the way, for those of you who like Ghostbusters, I didn't watch the new show, the new movie. I don't know. I never really liked the movie Ghostbusters. I never really thank you there. I've never been a big fan of it. But for those of you who do like it, Ghostbusters animated series it's coming to Netflix. So Sony Pictures Animation has teased fans with exciting news that a brand new Ghostbusters animated series is coming to Netflix soon. The series, initially announced a couple of years ago, received a fresh tease that is coming soon over the weekend as part of the annual Ghostbusters Day celebration marking the 40th anniversary of the iconic franchise. So if those you excited about that, woohoo, yay. There you go. If you love Ghostbusters, there's going to be an animation coming there. So 28 Days. If you guys liked 28 Days, will it be a 28 Days Haunted season 2? 28 Days Haunted. Actually, I should say 28 Days Haunted. This is by Emily Gula. It says that if you're into truly chilling ghost stories, then you'll likely have been loving Netflix reality series 28 Days Haunted. I've not seen that. It's a spooky season after all, they say, but will there be a season 2? This was back in 2000. This is a while ago. So have you guys seen this? 28 Days Haunted? The television show? I've not seen it. I don't know if it's any good or not. Apparently it's on Netflix, but I'm not sure. Oh, do you like it? No. So there was a thumbs up. So there are some people that really like this. So some people say nope. Some people say yep. Yeah, I have not seen this. I have not seen it at all. I've talked about UFOs and my belief that in alien life, I do believe that there's something out there. Yeah, Evil. I try to watch. I watched the first couple episodes of Evil. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know why. I just could not get into it. I don't know. Yeah. No, I've not seen The Exorcist Believer. This is by T.K. Randall. This is really interesting. So, a U.S. defense contractor describes a 7-minute UFO encounter. And this is by T.K. Randall. The contractor and 2 other witnesses encountered a strange barbell-shaped object over the Canadian wilderness. The incident, which occurred on August 28, 2013, was recently relayed by UFO investigator Robert Powell, who had personally investigated the case, spoken to witness who wished to remain anonymous due to the sensitive nature of his work, obviously. The sighting began at around 9:40 in the evening when the contractor, along with 2 other passengers, had been returning from a bear hunting trip in the wilderness. And it says we were roughly 4.5 or 5 miles from the main road when I noted something over my shoulder, the contractor recalled. The very first thing that was intense was just how bright this thing was. It was spectacular. Having been involved with optical systems in the past, we're talking about a vehicle that looked like a stadium lighting scenario. It was brilliant. Goodness gracious. He described the object itself as a barbell shape measuring 170 feet in length and 60 feet wide. The craft rotated slowly around its center while emitting an electrical spark-like shower, always opposite of the direction of travel. The group attempted to film the object, but the camera equipment inexplicably malfunctioned. The light was salty to my eyes. The contractor added, it was just as if I was looking into a laser that had been passed through a diffraction grating or something of that nature. In about 6 or 7 minutes, a second object appeared, and both craft zipped off into the distance at extreme speed. And interestingly, footage that the contractor had attempted to record, which ended up showing nothing but static, did yield some anomalous readings when analyzed in the lab. And these suggested that the object was producing a magnetic field capable of disrupting electronics. Exactly what the object could have been, however, remains a complete mystery. See, that's the thing. This is why there are too many people. There are too many people that are coming and telling stories like this. There's something going on. I just grabbed it and put it on. Right. Yeah. The famous wife and husband abduction, Barney and Betty Hill, in 1961. That's probably one of the most, truly one of the most famous well known. And there's other cases. There's other stories as well. But yeah, that was I don't know. There's just something going on. There's a lot of people that don't want to even think about the fact that UFOs exist, but I don't know. And fire in the sky. Yeah, that's right. And this story here, when I read this, this is a kind of goes along with it. TK Randall also says UFOs may be evidence of cryptoterrestrials. Some scientists are proposing. So an out there new study has put forward that the notion that UFOs are piloted by secretive, highly advanced, Earth-based beings. So the notion that UFO might be evidence of visitors from outer space is certainly nothing new, but there's another potential explanation for the UFO phenomenon that is far less widely circulated. And that theory, which is the subject of a new paper by researchers from both Harvard and Montana Technological University, suggests that UFOs are piloted by so-called cryptoterrestrials, which are essentially a race of highly advanced beings that are actually from Earth rather than from space. I have heard that before. I've heard that theory before, that there is a species, if you will, of alien life that have and humans, and there's these creatures or these beings. Anyway, these beings have allegedly been around for as long as human civilization itself, and choose to hide in inaccessible locations such as inside volcanoes and at the bottom of the sea. And the name cryptoterrestrial implies that, like the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot, they are cryptids, entities that are unknown to science, and which remain hidden from sight and evade discovery. They're also said to be in possession of advanced technology. I did have that one individual on, I forgot his name, the director of the really cool a documentary, and I had him on, and he talked about these creatures and whatever they are. Well, likewise, it's very interesting. There's just so many people who are having these experiences that you kind of wonder, are all these people lying? And I just simply don't think that they are. I don't think they are. There's something there. So I'm trying to let me find it if I can. Transmedium, here it is. It's called Transmedium, Fast Movers and USOs. And I actually had the director. He came on and he talked to us about. He was really nice, Darcy Weir, and he came on and talked to us about this this documentary. It's a good documentary called Transmedium, Fast Movers and USOs. And so if you've not seen that, you might want to check it out. But it is transmedium in that they are able to fly, and then they are able to be submersed in water. So I don't know. Yeah, go ahead and ask questions now. I'm just kind of going over articles that that I found, that I thought I'm going to chat with you guys about this. So yeah, if you have a question, just jump in and say, "Hey, here's my question." It's no, because see, I did the interview and I purchased it on Amazon Prime. So I'm not really for sure where you can find it, but because I did the interview, I wanted to make sure that I was able to, and it wasn't that expensive, but I wanted to make sure that I watched it so I can, have a conversation with him. But it's called Transmedium. Transmedium. I know, fourth kind. I know, I got to watch it. I think I watched a little bit of the documentary. I'm going to have to watch it because for some reason I was like, okay, this is kind of boring. I think I watched, if that's the right one. Hopefully it may not even be the right one. So yeah, it's not okay. Okay, I'll push it. Oh my gosh, we're almost at 90. We're almost at 97,000 likes. You guys are amazing. Thank you very much. It's on Tubi. Okay, Transmedium, Fast Movers, and USOs. There we go. So that's pretty good. So you might want to check that out. All right. Oh, Tubi is free? Okay. Well, there you go. You might want to, but make sure you get the Transmedium, because there's a couple. Well, thank you there, Cal. It's Transmedium Fast Movers and USOs. This is also by TK Randall. There is a ghost that allegedly sets off an ambulance siren in viral footage. Oh, it's great. I'll have to check Tubi out. Doesn't Tubi though? Do they have commercials? Okay, I got Marty at one point. I got courage and threw it down the stairs. Okay, I have to, and mine threw what down the stairs. Yeah, see, I'm having to scroll all the way down, Marty, to find out what it is that you're trying to ask. Because you let's see, and mine. Then I tried it. Yeah, just go ahead and ask it. So I can't. A dream. Okay, what was the dream? But just kind of instead of doing like just try to do one. I know you can only do. Unfortunately, on TikTok, you can't do like a big sentence, but it's just easier because if it's broke into multiple sentences, then the problem is I can't. It scrolls and it's all I see is like parts of the sentence. Then I did not know we could tap hearts the YouTube. Yeah, absolutely, Lisa. Okay, so a ghost, by the way, allegedly sets off an ambulance siren in a viral footage. This is by TK Randall as well. It's a shadowy figure has been blamed for setting off the siren of a Red Cross ambulance in Costa Rica. So the CCTV TV footage, which was filmed at the Auxiliary Committee of the Red Cross Santa Rosa del Bosco, okay, in Costa Rica's San Carlos district, recently went viral on social media. And it shows the ambulance bay outside the building with two vehicles parked up there. Suddenly, the lights and siren on one of the vehicles start to blare for no apparent reason, prompting a confused looking worker to emerge from the building on the left to investigate. And just as he arrives at the door, a strange shadow can be seen moving away from the vehicle on the right-hand side before disappearing off the side of the frame. And the clip has prompted speculation that some sort of ghost was responsible for setting off the siren. In truth, however, it's quite difficult to actually make out this shadowy figure, and it's quite possible that the siren had come on due to some sort of electrical fault. You can check, by the way, you can check it out. I have seen it. It is interesting, but it's on X. It's on X, and multimedia multimedios CR. So MULTIMEDIOS CR. Multimedios CR. And it's interesting. That's let me see if I can pull it up here. I mean, there's a lot of people saying, it's no, you can't do that. That does no, it's not a ghost. We don't know. Multi MEDIOSCR. There it is. And let's see, scroll down. When was this posted? June 10th. Yeah, June 10th. So I wasn't too far, 2024. And trying to find it, scrolling down. Well, they got a lot of they make a lot of videos on these things. The problem is they're. Oh, okay. So yeah, it's going to be a little. You have to keep scrolling. Marty, it's best if you just. So why don't you send it to me on Facebook? That way I can take a look at it. Oh, here it is. So I'm watching it now. It's It just goes off. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's 5 days ago, and Multimedios CR. No, OS. What is it? Shit. Multimedios, yeah, CR. Yeah, take a look at it. See what you guys think. But it's interesting. No, Facebook is easier. All right. Because I just said I have 18,000 emails, and I can't. So yeah, unfortunately, I wish it's too much. There's too many emails, and I try to go over it. It's like, oh, forget it. I try to keep up to the best I can, but unfortunately, I'm only one person, and I do this free, so I only have a certain amount of hours that I can dedicate. I do the best I can. But anyway, that's all right. That's okay. That's okay. The firmament. Yeah, there's this belief, of course, that of the firmament, and that we have a flat Earth. Okay, folks. Here's the deal. No. I do not believe we have a flat Earth. Sorry, I don't do it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And people saying, "Aha, that's because you are looking at NASA photos." No, it's because I can look in the sky, and everything that we see, especially the moon, everything is round. I mean, everything. And then all of a sudden the Earth is going to be flat. No, no. I'm not a believer in all that stuff. And the notion that the sky was a vast solid dome seems to have been common among the ancient people, whose idea of cosmology had come down to us. So the Egyptians conceived the heavens to be like an arched iron ceiling from which the stars were like suspended, like by cables. And the Babylonians, the sky was an immense dome forged out of the hardest metal by the hand of Marduk, and resting on a wall surrounding the earth. So according to that notion that's prevalent among the Greeks and Romans, the sky was like a vault of crystal to which the fixed stars were attached. And some people say it was attached by iron or brass. And the Hebrews entertained similar ideas, which appears from numerous biblical passages. And that's why people are thinking that we are a flat earth. Now, if you look at Genesis 1, we read that God created the firmament to divide the upper or the celestial from the lower or terrestrial waters. But the problem is the Hebrew translation means something beaten or like hammered out, and thus extended. So the Vulgate rendering firmamentum corresponds more closely with the Greek, the Septuagint. It's like something made firm or solid. So the notion of of the solidity of the firmament it's expressed in the passage that we see this in Job, where its reference is made instantly to the heavens, which are most strong as if they were molten brass. So it's just a simple, it's incorrect of the translation believing that the earth is flat. The earth is not flat. The earth is round. And when we all get to go to heaven, we'll see the earth and you'll say, yep, there it is. It's round. It's not. Anyway. Yeah. Hey, Lloyd's of London. Guess what? You know what? I'm going to ban you. Goodbye. You are now bound. You're banned. Bye-bye. Yeah, some person came in here and some troll, disrespecting Mary and Joseph, of course, disgusting. So now he is banned, and he will no longer be able to watch it on that account. Yeah. Well, the firmament, I don't believe in the firmament as that they are referring to the firmament, meaning that the earth is flat. No. So I just think that goes that's too much. Too much silliness. But again, I know some people that are absolutely convinced that the earth is flat. And if you say that it wasn't, that those are fighting words, and I guess they have a right to agree with, to believe that, but I have a right to disagree. So yeah, I agree with it. I don't understand this. By the way, for those of you who like bear, and I have some really cool articles from Miss Wilma. Yeah, I just saw it. I just saw him putting in there. So I said, nope, you're done. Goodbye. This is by Ben Hooper. A California bear has been blamed for 5 break-ins in 2 hours. So authorities in California said a single bear was responsible for 5 break-ins in a 2-hour period. And one of the homes was occupied at the time. The Sierra Madre Police Department confirmed officers responded Thursday to northeastern neighborhood where a bear had broken into 4 homes and a garage between 12:30 and 2:15 p.m. And one of the homes was occupied at the time of the break-in, but the woman locked herself in a bedroom until the animal left. Thank God was not injured. However, Lori DeVault said her neighbor captured video when the Bruin broke through her screen door. Now, she said it was a very polite bear. It just opened up the freezer and took my packaged chicken, and the neighbor filmed it with it hanging from its mouth. DeVault said that the bear dropped the frozen chicken nearby, which police returned to her. I don't think you can go ahead and keep it, But this is what's called urban sprawl. So the more we are spreading out, the more neighborhoods are spreading out, we are entering into obviously the habitat of these animals. And there's going to be more and more contact with these animals as we continue to sprawl. So it's a pretty, he was hard at work. Yeah. Now, for those of you who wish to, maybe you can win the lottery, win that lottery and your life would just change. Wouldn't that be great? Well, this is by Ben Hooper. A DC woman wins 2 big lottery prizes 4 months apart. How lucky. So a Washington, D.C. woman scored a $250,000 prize from a scratch-off lottery ticket just 4 months after winning $50,000 from another game. Sherry Fowler told D.C. lottery officials she bought her nothing but cash scratch-off ticket from Chevron Station at Sherman Avenue and scratch it off while still inside the store. I was at the store and started screaming. I couldn't believe it. I had to ask my kids to double check. Fowler previously won $50,000 from a win-it-all scratch-off ticket she bought from Harvard Liquor. It was 1 block away from the Chevron station. The winner said she already knows what to do with her latest windfall. I'm going to get a car this time. Wow. I mean, that's just it. To me, it is amazing how some people are able to win lottery after lottery, and then there are other people. You're good luck if you just win, $2. Yeah, you're going to win the lottery. Yeah, hey, good luck to you. Good luck. Have you heard of this one? Korean noodles. Korean noodles are recalled in Denmark for being too spicy. I don't like spicy food. I'll be the first to admit spicy food. No, I'm not interested. Not interested. But if you purchase these, if you have these, they're called buldak or buldak. Buldak ramen noodle products from South Korean company Samyang have been recalled in Denmark for being too spicy. The Danish Veterinary and Food Administration announced on its website that it's recalling these 3 times spicy hot chicken, 2 times spicy hot chicken, and hot chicken stew ramen noodle products. I guess so. I mean, apparently there's this it's a chili pepper extract that gives the noodle their spicy flavor. I'm just not. You like spicy food? I don't know. Not me. I'm just not into spicy food. No. Oh gosh. Now, for those of you who are like bike riding, this is really interesting. You might want to take a look at this on YouTube. It's really interesting. I would not do it. However, there was a like a well, let me tell you the story. Ben Hooper says a world's tallest rideable bicycle measures 25 feet and 5 inches tall. So a pair of friends from France said it took them about 5 years to realize their dream of building the world's tallest rideable bicycle. It measures 25 feet, 5 inches high. Now, Nicholas Boreals and David Peru said they came up with the idea while having a drink in a pub, and they soon found themselves creating designs and sourcing materials. The duo said the bike took about 2 years to build. It is not possible to tell you the blood and sweat and tears, Boreals told Guinness World Records. The finished bike was officially certified as the tallest in the world, beating the previous record by 1 foot 2 inches. So go on YouTube and just type in the world's tallest rideable bicycle. And what they had is they had a little like a harness on him. And so, because if he falls over, I mean, it's not like you're going to fall off on a regular bicycle. You're falling 25 feet. So go on YouTube and take a look at it. It is interesting. So, I mean, if he fell over, then, they had I think they had a little chain or something hooked to the bicycle, and they also had a chain hooked to him. So if it fell over, it wouldn't fall on a pedestrian or someone, a bystander. So if he fell, he wouldn't. It's not like he would fall, on hard on the 25 feet in the concrete. But anyway, it's still pretty crazy. Energy drinks, and another lottery winner. So a California woman stops for an energy drink. She wins $1 million. But Ben Hooper says that a California woman stopped at a convenience store she had been visiting her entire life just to buy an energy drink. She ended up winning $1 million. Alexander Rodriguez told California lottery officials she stopped at Helen's Market on Santa Fe Springs, a store she had been visiting since riding her bike to the shop as a kid, to buy an energy drink. And while in the store, Rodriguez decided to buy an extreme multiplier scratch-off ticket. It was catchy. I liked the colors. I was like, just give me that one. Rodriguez explained. What's interesting is I ended up with picking my lucky number. The ticket, lucky number 22, turned out to be $1 million winner. She said, I was born on the 22nd, and that's my number, Rodriguez says. And the money is going to help with a lot of things. I'm just looking forward to that $1 million is going to bring positive things only. Well, good for her. That's pretty spectacular. Yeah. And you're right. Yeah. Energy drinks, you got to be careful. You got to be careful of those energy drinks because, boy, I tell you what, that's dangerous stuff. Very, very dangerous stuff. They can really do damage to your heart. So you have to be careful with that. Can you imagine, speaking of bike riding, could you imagine or going hiking and you're in North Dakota and you look off to the side and you're like, what is that? It's pretty interesting. Well, listen to this story. 3 young boys out for a hike in North Dakota noticed something sticking out from the ground, and they were shocked to find out that they had discovered a T-Rex fossil. The Tyrannosaurus Rex fossil. Justin and Liam Fisher, ages 10 and 7, were out hiking on North Dakota Bureau of Land Management in the Badlands near Marmarth with their cousin, Caden, who's 9, and their dad, Sam Fisher, when the family spotted an unusual object sticking out of the ground. They contacted Tyler Lyson, Sam Fisher's high school classmate, and now the curator, paleontology for the Denver Museum of Nature and Science, to help identify what they had found during their 2022 hike. Lyson and his paleontology team accompanied the family on the return trip to the scene of the discovery in the summer of 2023 and determined the boys had found a juvenile Tyrannosaurus fossil. So the fossil will make its public debut at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science Discovering Teen Rex exhibit, which opens June 21st. That's pretty cool. It says, by going outside and embracing their passions and the thrill of the discovery, these boys have made an incredible dinosaur discovery that advances science and deepens our understanding of the natural world. I'm excited for museum guests to dig into the Teen Rex discovery experience, which I think will inspire the imagination and wonder. So the opening of the exhibit will also feature the premiere of the documentary T-Rex, which chronicles the fossil's discovery and features an unprecedented journey into the world of T-Rex and its fellow creatures. That is really cool. Could you imagine? That would be a pretty amazing. To just go out for a walk and like, what is that? Oh, well, just a T-Rex fossil. That's it. That's it. Just a T-Rex fossil. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay. Yeah, it is. I think that would be very cool. I mean, just to be able to experience that. Okay, there's stories where they seek on Catholic exorcist aid for a T-Rex. I'm not for sure. I don't know why they would necessarily need an exorcist for that. Or was that someone another question for someone else? I just glanced down and saw somebody. So you found a mammoth tusk in Alaska. Wow, it's hiking in the mountains. Wow, that is really cool. Man, that is crazy. For those of you who have experienced paranormal activity at work, well, there's a lot of people. This is on BuzzFeed who are sharing the creepiest things they've dealt with at work. So this one said here, I had someone call my work and ask for me, and they told me that they wanted to. Well, that we don't want to do that. That's one night while I was making my rounds, an older client got up to go to the bathroom, and he kept looking behind me and said, "Who's that behind you?" I turned around, there was no one behind me. It was 2 or 3 a.m., which freaked me out because he kept staring behind me like someone was there. Maybe a week later, they had moved him into a hospital and he passed away. He says, I still wonder what he saw. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Another one says, I worked at the front desk of a hotel and was relieving night audit, the person who works through the night, from their shift. And they said they got multiple calls from an unoccupied room. Well, my immediate thought is, are there squatters there? But if you're a squatter, why are you calling the front desk? This person says, I work in a library at a reference desk, and we get a lot of older folks or people who, for whatever reason, can't look up anything on the internet on their own. I answered a call from a man who wanted me to try to look up a specific woman. The only result with the info he gave was a missing person. He then gave me another woman's name and a little more info. She was also a missing person. I apologized and said I couldn't give him any more information than what I found, and he just laughed and asked if he could have my number instead. Big no for me on that one. Yeah, that's probably not one. This person says, I work as a funeral director, and one day there was an open casket funeral. Thank you. The family gathered, and there was one woman who seemed out of sorts. She was dressed casually and just kind of meandering about. I observed her for a while, and she went to the casket and appeared to be giving the deceased some reverence. She then had to pass by me to leave. She was clearly inebriated and said to me as she was leaving, I just want to see a deceased body. She gave me a drunk girl grin and staggered off. Okay. This person says, I'm an EMT, and one night I had to grab something from the ambulance on call. It was about 3 a.m., and I was riding the elevator up in a nursing home by myself. But this little old woman got in and rode up with me before the doors could close. She smiled wide and said, you're a good person. What you put out in the universe, it will come back to you. You're going to be rewarded, and with a quick death. Still smiling, she kept talking after that, but it was just white noise to me. I later found out that she had passed 2 weeks earlier. Now, that's a little crazy. That's lady, look, no. No. That's a lot of people say that they have that type of experience. I don't know, but that's you're gonna quick death. Yay, woohoo! Hopefully that'll be in the years to come. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, so we're gonna wrap things up here pretty soon. For those of you who are on Spreaker, I'm gonna say goodnight to you guys. Remember, everybody, I'm going to be here tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because we have Bible study. So we'd love to have you. So hopefully you'll show up and you'll join. So again, it's at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's the time tomorrow for our Bible study. Looking forward to it. Yeah, I've been here since 8, so 2 hours. I got to get up at 4 a.m. tomorrow. So an early day tomorrow. Remember, folks, I tell you all the time, your value does not decrease based on someone's inability or refusal to see your worth. You're priceless. Don't let anybody tell you or convince you otherwise. Facebook, well, thank you very much there, Dog Norman. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and Rumble. God bless.